Hello friends. Let's get started on building our first Android app. In Chapter 2, we covered all the UI components and their properties in detail. If you haven't watched that video yet, I recommend checking it out as it will help you fully understand the concepts we use in our upcoming classes. Starting from this lesson, we'll learn Kodular by creating small apps that you can eventually install on your Android phones. The link to watch class 2 is in the description, so be sure to watch that video if you missed it before starting this one. In this class, we are developing our first Android app with two buttons, a green button and a red button. When you click on the green button, it shows a message saying green selected. And when you click on the red button, it shows a message saying red selected. Since this is a tutorial video, we'll use a simple user interface. Don't worry about the quality of the UI at the beginning. We'll learn how to create great custom UI in our upcoming classes. Let's start the class. Let's create a project by clicking on the Create Project button. Name the project as My App 1. Click on Next. For the app's name, let's keep it the same, My App 1. Now, leave all other settings as default, and then click on Finish. Now we are in the design screen. Left side we have the UI components. And right side we have properties for the selected component. Let's change the phone layout to Samsung Galaxy S9. Here we have a title called Screen 1. We can hide it by unchecking the title visible option. Let's drag and drop a label component from the left side menu. We discussed properties customization for all UI components in detail in our previous tutorial class. If you missed that class, kindly go and watch it first to fully understand this tutorial. Now, let's set the width of this label component to the full width of the screen by clicking on the fill icon. And then, set its alignment to center. Now, we can change the text to select any color by editing the text property. Now, change the font size to 20 and make it bold by clicking on the checkbox. Next, we can add two buttons, one for red and one for green. Let's customize this button component. Change its font size to 20. Change its text to green. Next, we can adjust the button's size by changing the height to 8% and the width to 40%. You can choose any height and width that looks better for your UI style. I wish to change the width to 35% to get a better look. Now, let's make this font bold to make it clearer by clicking the Font Bold option. Next, we can change the background color of this button by clicking on this option. We need to select green here. Next, we can customize the second button for the red color. Since both the properties of the green button and the red button are the same, we can duplicate the green button easily. Before that, we can delete the second button we added by clicking on the correct component, which is button 2, from the right side, and then click on the delete button at the top bar. Now, to duplicate the green button, simply right-click on the button and select the duplicate option. Now, we can see button 1 copy is added on the right side. Next, let's rename the button to red and change its color to red. Here, the two buttons are one below the other. Let's place them side by side. For this, we have a component in the layout section called horizontal arrangement. Just drag and drop this component onto the screen. Now, let's fill the width and set the height to 10% for this horizontal arrangement. Then, drag and drop our two buttons into this arrangement. Next, let's set both the horizontal and vertical alignment to center. Next, we can add a gap between these two buttons using the space component. Here, we don't need to set the height value, just set the width to 10%. Next, we want to add one more label component to show feedback below, like green is selected or red is selected. For this, let's duplicate the label we used as our title. Now, let's move the duplicated component below the buttons. Next, add some text to the label, like before selection. Now, our designer part or the UI part is completed successfully. Next, we want to write the code or backend for our app like this. When we click on the green button, we need to update the text label below the buttons to say green selected. And when we click on the red button, we need to update the text label to say red selected. We can disable the visibility of this label at first. When any button is clicked, the label will become visible with the information about which button was clicked. Let's switch the screen to blocks or backend by clicking on the blocks button at the top right corner. In the blocks section, on the left side, we can see all the blocks or code elements available to use for building the backend of our app. In Kodular, the backend is created using these drag and drop coding elements. Here, our button components can be seen as button 1 and button 1_copy. We know that button 1 is green and the copy is red. But in big projects, there can be many buttons and components, so it's important to use proper naming to reduce confusion. Let's switch back to the designer section and rename the components we used with appropriate names. Let's rename button 1 as green and button 1_copy as red. Click on the respective component from the right side and select the rename button. Rename button 1 as green and button 1_copy as red. Next, the label component below the buttons, label 1_copy, can be renamed to message. The label component above the buttons is not used in the backend code, so we can skip renaming it. Or, if you want to rename it, you can use any name like title. Let's switch back to the blocks section by clicking on the blocks button at the top right corner. Now, click on the green named button component in the left side window. Select the block that says when green.click do and drag and drop it into the canvas. This is the condition block that runs the code inside it whenever we click the green button. We can adjust the block coding canvas zoom by using the plus and minus icons at the bottom right corner. This helps us clearly read the small letters on the blocks. Next, click on the label named message. Drag and drop the block set message.text to and connect it with the green button click block we added, just like this. Next, select the text blocks list from the left window, drag and drop a text string block into the canvas. Then, join it with the message block we added recently. Now, type green selected into the blank string block just like this. Now we can test this set of codes on our smartphone using the Companion app we installed on our Android phone. For this, switch back to the designer section. Select the test option from the top bar and choose Connect Companion. Now a QR code will appear on the screen. Open the Kodular Companion app on your phone and scan the QR code just like this. There's no need to click the send button. Wait a few seconds to a minute for the connection process to complete. Now we can see the app UI we implemented on Kodular on our smartphone. Let's click on the green button and test our backend code. Oops! Nothing changed. That's because the label component named message is hidden. We had disabled its visibility. To fix this, we need to add one more block to make the label visible when the green button is clicked. Let's switch to the blocks section. Now, click on the label component named message from the left side window to access all the code blocks for a label component. Then, look for the block that says set message.visible to. Drag and drop this block into the coding canvas. Attach this block inside the green button click block like this. Next, we need to add a logical condition or a Boolean statement here to define the visibility as either true or false. Since we want to make the label visible when clicking the green button, let's add a true block. Select the logic category from the left side window, then drag and connect the true block with the message visible block like this. Next, to update this backend code into our app running on the companion, click on the test option from the top menu bar and choose Refresh Companion Screen. Now you'll see a small flicker on your smartphone screen. This means the app is updated. Let's click the green button. Hooray! The message label now shows green selected. Next, we'll create the same set of blocks for the red button. Click on the red button from the left side components window and drag and drop the block that says when red dot click do into the coding canvas. Since the logic is exactly the same as the green button, except for the message text, we can save time by duplicating the green button's block. Let's first delete the new red button block we just added. You can do this by right-clicking on it and selecting Delete Block, or just press the Delete key on your keyboard. Now, right-click on the green button block and click on Duplicate. You'll see a red cross mark on the duplicated blocks. This is not because Kodular doesn't allow it. It is because clicking a button is a single event and we can't have to separate blocks for the same event. So, instead of using both, we'll update the duplicated block to work with the red button. Now click on the green drop-down on the duplicated block and select red like this. Now we can see that the red cross mark has disappeared since these two events are different and unique. Then we can update the text of this block to red is selected. Now let's refresh the companion screen and update the backend code on our companion app. Now the app is updated on the companion. Let's click on the green button now. It is showing the message green is selected. Let's try with the red button next. Yes, it is now showing the message red is selected. We made it. Next, we can modify the UI part further to give a better user experience. Let's switch back to the designer section. Here, there is no indication of which button is selected. So we can make a code like this. If green button is selected, change its text color to yellow, and if red is selected, change its text color to yellow respectively. Let's switch back to the blocks section and add this code too. Select the green button's blocks from the left side window and search for Set Green Text Color to block. Drag and attach it to the green button's click block like this. Now, from the left side window, select color blocks and drag and attach the yellow color block with the text color block like this. Duplicate this color block and add it to the red button's block. Change the green option to red like this. Next, update the companion app. Now let's click on the green button. You can see its text color is updated to yellow from white. Next, click the red button. Now the red button's text color is also updated to yellow. Here, both the button text colors are yellow, so the user may get confused about which button was selected last. Let's add one more code to make the other buttons text color change to white while clicking. Right-click on the text color block of the red button and click Duplicate. Attach this duplicated block with the green button's block like this. Now click on the yellow color and pick white from the palette. Next, duplicate the text color block of the green button and repeat the same for the red button's block like this. Next, update the companion app. Let's click on green button now. It is showing green selected. And the button text color changed to yellow. Next, let's click on red button. Here green button's text color is updated from yellow to white and red button's text color updated to yellow. Let's click green button and red button repeatedly to observe the change. It is properly showing which color button is active now and displaying the message. Our backend code is completed now. Let's switch back to the designer section and modify the user interface to make the app look better. Select the horizontal arrangement where we placed our buttons first, change its background color to something like gray. Now you can see that the companion app is updated instantly with the color. In case of UI components, we don't need to click the companion refresh option. It will automatically refresh the companion when we make changes in the designer section. Next, click and check the Is Card option in the right side properties of this horizontal layout. Now we can see a card-like view for this horizontal layout and the buttons. These changes can only be seen in the companion screen. On our Kodular Designer section, we can't see this effect. Next, we can bring all these contents on our phone screen into the center of the screen. For this, we need to put all the components into a vertical arrangement. Add a vertical arrangement from the Layout menu. Make its width fill the screen and height to 30%. Now drag and drop all the components into this vertical arrangement one by one in the same order. Here, the message label component is hidden. To add it into the vertical component, we need to make it visible first. After dragging it into the vertical block, we can uncheck the visibility again. Next, we can bring all the components inside this vertical arrangement into the center by clicking on the vertical arrangement and setting its horizontal align and vertical align to center like this. Next, change the vertical component's background color into gray and check the Is Card option as shown. We can change the color of the title label into white for better visibility in the app. Next, we can add space between two components. For this, add a space component from the layout components on the left side. Fill its width and give 2% height. Now do the same for the message label also. Make it visible, change color, and duplicate the space component from the top and place it above the message component. We can make this message component either visible or hidden. It will not affect the working of the app since we declared an initial text as before selection here. Next, select the vertical arrangement and check the Use Round Card option, which will give a rounded corner card-like effect on the vertical layout on the companion screen. I don't wish to use this rounded card effect on this vertical arrangement. It can be removed by unchecking the Use Rounded Card option like this. Next, we can bring all these contents into the center of the screen. For this, click on an empty area on the screen and ensure Screen Properties is displayed on the right side, then change horizontal arrangement and vertical arrangement into center. At last, we can download this app as an .apk file. Before that, we need to disconnect the companion app on our phone. To do this, select Test Reset Connection from the top menu like this. Now, our phone's companion app will get disconnected. It is advised to disconnect the companion app from Kodular before starting to build the APK file to avoid a download blocking bug in Kodular, which may be fixed in the future by them. At last, we can download this app as an .apk file by clicking on Export Android app option. Wait a couple of minutes. Now we can see the APK package building status progress on the screen. After the APK package is successfully built, we can download the APK by scanning the QR code using an Android phone or by clicking on the Download APK button. Let's download the app using the Download APK button. Here we can see my app 1.apk is downloaded successfully. This is one of the simplest apps we can make using Kodular. In this class, we covered the following front-end tasks: renamed buttons and labels, set background colors, used horizontal and vertical arrangements, centered UI elements, added spacing, customized card styles, and the backend tasks we covered are: set label text using code blocks, made label visible using code blocks, changed button color through code, used the duplicate block feature, tested the app using the companion, exported and downloaded the APK file. Thank you for watching this class. To keep learning, please subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell to never miss a class. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter to stay updated about our events such as giveaways, competitions, expos, placements, and more.